Hello and welcome to the Vocal Alchemists podcast. I'm your host, Lyndsey, and this is episode 4. It's all about Reiki energy healing. It's been a minute since I uploaded a podcast. First, it was because of the holidays, and then my January was hectic. I've been working a lot on my new website, which is vocalalchemist.club. It will be launching very soon. Keep up to date by following me on Instagram, which is at vocalalchemists. That's probably where I'll announce first that the website is up and all of that. Now, if you're interested in receiving Reiki or sound healing, you'll want to stay tuned till the end of this episode. Let's begin. Maybe you've heard the word Reiki floating around in the wellness world, or maybe this is the first time you're even hearing about energy healing. Either way, by the end of this episode, you'll have a clear, deep understanding of what Reiki is, where it comes from, and how it works. And if you're skeptical about energy healing, I totally get it. I'll also be addressing common misconceptions and explaining how Reiki works from a logical, grounded perspective. Now, before we can talk about Reiki, we have to talk about energy healing in general. Because if you're someone who's never explored this world, it might sound like total nonsense at first. But here's the thing. Everything in this universe is made up of energy. Science has already proven that everything is constantly vibrating. Even the chair I'm sitting on right now is just a collection of atoms vibrating at a certain frequency. And our bodies are no different. Here's something else to think about. Even in Western medicine, we already acknowledge that the human body is electromagnetic. Your nervous system transmits signals using electrical impulses. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that can be measured outside of your body. And if you've ever had an MRI or an EKG, you would know that they work by detecting and interpreting energy. So, if we already know that the body has an energetic component, it's not such a stretch to explore the idea that energy can become blocked or imbalanced, and that certain techniques can help bring it back into harmony. Now, imagine your body as a river. When it's flowing smoothly, you feel good, healthy, balanced. But when there's a blockage, that river gets stagnant and it can lead to physical, emotional, or mental discomfort. Where do these blockages come from? Well, usually they're caused by stress, different emotions, or trauma. And you probably already know, the body keeps score, right? So, energy healing is the practice of removing those energetic blockages and restoring the natural flow of energy into the body. Reiki is just one specific kind of energy healing, but it is one of the most well-known and widely practiced forms of energy healing in the world today. One does not need a certification or to be attuned to Reiki in order to perform energy healing on themselves, but in that case, it wouldn't be Reiki. It would just be general healing by intention. Reiki is a specific kind of energy healing, like I said, and it requires attunement and training in order to practice it. So, what exactly is Reiki? As I said, it's an energy healing practice, and it involves channeling universal life force energy through special symbols, sounds, and intentions. With the consent of the client, the practitioners basically balance the energy centers, which can ease bodily pain and all of that good stuff. The word itself, Reiki, comes from 2 Japanese letters called kanji. The first one, rei, means spiritual, divine, or universal. The second, ki, means energy or life force. So Reiki literally means universal life force energy. It's based on the idea that we're constantly connected to this divine energy source, and with intention, we can tap into it and promote healing. It's not about forcing energy. It's about allowing the energy to flow where it needs to go. It's non-invasive, and it works holistically on the body, mind, and spirit. Reiki was founded by a man named Mikao Usui in Japan in the early 20th century. Usui studied Buddhism, martial arts, medicine, and various healing traditions until in 1922, after 21 days of fasting and meditating on a sacred mountain in Japan, he had a profound spiritual awakening that allowed him to channel energy healing through his hands. He called this system Reiki and began practicing it in Tokyo. He later opened a Reiki healing clinic and started teaching others. And then his students spread Reiki across Japan, and eventually it made its way to the West, where it evolved into different styles and branches. Now here's where things get interesting. Unlike many other ancient healing practices, Reiki is not thousands of years old. It was founded just about a century ago, meaning that every single Reiki practitioner today can actually trace their lineage back to Usui, at least in theory. Think of it like a family tree. If you receive a Reiki attunement, your Reiki master was attuned by another master, who was attuned by another master, and if you follow that chain back, it leads directly to Mikao Usui, or at least it's supposed to, if you're getting attuned the right way. Because Reiki was only formalized in the 1920s, so there should only be about 2 to 3 teachers between any given practitioner and Usui himself. That means that Reiki has been passed down in a pure, direct lineage, preserving its integrity as a healing practice. Reiki is an open practice, meaning that anyone can be attuned to Reiki and become a practitioner. And we'll get into how that works in a bit. Though it is an open practice, during attunement, Reiki practitioners make an oath to keep certain information private and between themselves and other Reiki practitioners only. Reiki has unfortunately faced some cultural appropriation, you could say, and thus some misuse by people who actually leak information to the general public about Reiki. They leak some information that is meant to only be disclosed in an attunement. There are 2 camps when it comes to this issue. Some practitioners have no problem with the open sharing of this information, and others are rightfully upset by it. Honestly, I urge you all to only receive Reiki healing from those who have legitimate training and attunement experiences. And I also urge you to avoid this leaked information if you ever come across it, such as people sharing their Reiki handbook online to just anyone who finds the link. It's a bit unethical. You should only get your information from certified practitioners, specifically during an attunement, if you are truly looking to practice Reiki on yourself or others. Please just have some respect for the practice and the culture it comes from. Now, moving on. What exactly happens in a Reiki session, you might be wondering? Now, in a traditional Reiki session, the practitioner places their hands either lightly on or just above the recipient's body. They don't give their own energy, they just act as a channel for the universal life force energy to flow. And the best part is that Reiki energy is intelligent. It naturally flows to wherever the recipient needs it most, whether that's emotional healing, physical pain relief, or just simply relaxation. Some practitioners like to focus on the 7 energy centers in our body. In Sanskrit, they are called chakras. It is pronounced with a ch and not a sh. You might hear people say chakras. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but I kind of am a nerd about diction and stuff, so it is supposed to be a flipped R, like chakra, but obviously in America we use a retroflex R, which is the r, so we say chakra, but a lot of people end up saying chakra. I'll stop. I'm on a tangent at this point. But yeah, it is pronounced chakra with a CH, okay? Anyways, some of them like to focus on these 7 chakras, and others may only focus on the area of the body that the client feels chronic pain. Either way, it goes where it's needed. Even if the practitioner focused on the wrong body part per se, Reiki is intelligent, like I said, and it just knows where to go. So it's really cool. Other things to keep in mind is some recipients feel heat, tingling, or just a sense of deep relaxation. Others might experience emotional releases like tears or just a wave of relief as the stored energy is finally processed. Now, here's where things get even cooler. Reiki doesn't require physical touch or even being in person with the practitioner. It can actually be sent across any distance. In modern times, Reiki can be received remotely. How? Because energy isn't limited by space and time. Think about how radio waves travel. You can't see them, but they reach your device perfectly fine. Same thing happens with Reiki. If you've ever thought about someone and then they suddenly text you, or if you've walked into a room and instantly felt the energy shift, you've already experienced how subtle energy moves. For remote sessions, Reiki practitioners use a sacred symbol that helps them focus and send the Reiki energy beyond physical limitations. Reiki in any form is possible by the client or recipient giving consent to the practitioner to access their energy centers to remove any blockages and move the stagnant energy. This is as simple as saying yes or one's full name out loud or in their head. As long as they intentionally consent, the Reiki energy healing will go exactly where it needs to. Now, I said we would talk about the attunement and the training, right? So let's get into the juicy stuff. How does one learn this? If you're interested in ever getting attuned to Reiki, here's what you need to know. Reiki is typically learned in 3 levels. Reiki level 1, Reiki level 2, and Reiki level 3, or the master level. So Reiki level 1 is the beginner level where you learn how to practice Reiki on yourself and others. Reiki level 2 is the level necessary to allow you to send Reiki remotely, and you also learn additional information and receive more training. And then the highest level, Reiki level 3, or the master level, is where you learn how to attune others to Reiki. Some Reiki practitioners claim to attune people straight to level 3 in one whole attunement. This may be beneficial for some, but honestly, the 3 individual trainings were more to my liking personally. And the pricing of each of the attunements and trainings can vary depending on which level it is, your location, and the specific practitioner holding the attunement. So I keep saying this word attunement. For those of you who have never heard of an attunement before, basically, a Reiki attunement is a ceremonial energy transfer that opens up your ability to channel Reiki. It's a direct connection to the Reiki lineage, and it's what allows Reiki to be passed down. This can be in a group setting or in an individual setting, but in my experiences, I was attuned in group settings. Also, another thing I wanted to mention is it can be online as well. So there are in-person Reiki trainings, and there are also online ones, and I've experienced both. Both are valid. So my personal experience with Reiki, it's honestly been a game changer in my life. It has helped me balance my energy, deepen my intuition, and support others in their healing journey. In fact, receiving remote Reiki for the first time in 2020 changed my life completely. I was skeptical since it was all happening asynchronously and remotely, but I was pleasantly surprised at the healing and the changes I experienced. A lot of personal changes and developments, and also after receiving that Reiki, I ended up joining my first yoga teacher training and even got my first level of Reiki attunement. The rest is history. My life is completely and totally different these days. Now it's 2025. I'm a Reiki level 3 practitioner, and I'm ready to open up the possibilities of how I can help my community by utilizing this practice. I'm combining Reiki with other modalities I offer, such as vocal practices and sound healing. And actually, an exciting offer is being launched soon. And we'll get more into that in a second. But in addition to the offer that I have coming up, monthly donors to the new Vocal Alchemists website, aka vocalalchemists.club, will receive one asynchronous group Reiki transmission each month for their contributions. And yeah, in the future, I'm also going to hold space for some Reiki events online and in person. So just stay tuned. Now, just for you, for listening to the end of the podcast, I'm going to share about the new offer, and I have a special offer for you, okay? So, if you're curious to experience Reiki for yourself, I'm so excited to announce my new signature offer. It's called Synergy. It's a one-time sound and energy healing package. So if you order Synergy, you will receive a one-to-one remote Reiki energy healing and your choice of one of the following sound practices. You can choose from either a healing soundscape, a channeled sacred song, a channeled playlist, or an affirmation arsenal. So how does it work? First, you'd go on my website, vocalalchemist.club, find the Synergy booking form, fill out the intake so that I know how best to serve you, and then schedule your one-to-one Reiki session. My calendar is on the booking form. Next, when the day comes for your remote Reiki session, we'll connect and you will relax and receive the distance Reiki. Lastly, within 3 to 10 business days, you will receive the file with your chosen sound practice. If you choose the soundscape or sacred song, you'll receive the MP3 in your email. And if you choose the channel playlist or the affirmation arsenal, aka personalized list, you will receive that as a PDF in your email. Whichever sound practice you choose, it will be specifically made for you. I'll be recording the soundscapes or sacred songs, which might include things like your literal name or things pertaining to your situation. The soundscape can be used time and time again for relaxation and meditation purposes. The channeled sacred song can be used for the same, and if you learn it, you can sing along and connect with your voice. Obviously, I love that. The channeled playlist will be songs the universe wants you to hear. It can be used in a variety of ways, obviously the sound itself, but analyzing the lyrics can also be effective for self-reflection. Last but not least, the affirmation arsenal is exactly what it sounds like. It's a toolkit of specific affirmations you can use daily to reprogram your subconscious and battle any self-limiting beliefs. These affirmations will be customized to your goals, and you'll be using your voice to reprogram your beliefs. So it's pretty awesome. So whichever sound practice you're most drawn to, I look forward to channeling both the one-to-one remote Reiki and the sound practice of your choice. This is the cool part. So the price point for Synergy will be $147 USD per session. For the podcast listeners, I have a special price just for you. It's only for the first 3 people who DM me on Instagram after listening to this episode. If you DM me the phrase podcast special, I will send you a special booking link for Synergy at only $88 for one session. This is a steal, and it's only for the ones who listen to the pod as a thank you. I will never offer it this low again. It's only for the first 3 people to DM me the phrase podcast special. So thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I hope I was able to answer some questions you had about Reiki energy healing. Stay tuned for the launch of my website, vocalalchemist.club, and stay tuned for the launch of Synergy. Not only that, I have another launch coming up soon, which is my voice studio. So yeah, a lot of fun, exciting things happening, and I'm just so happy to be here sharing it all with you, and just so happy that you guys even care or are interested in the same things that I'm interested in. So I don't know, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.